So apparently George Lucas just said he doesn't care about Star Wars anymore. Like, those weren't his exact words, but that's definitely the vibe that I'm getting. He said that Disney has taken it over and they've given it their vision, and that's what happens when you sell Star Wars or something like it. So George is making it clear that he's saying that's y'all's problem now. And honestly, that's fair. The man is 81 years old and he's worth billions of dollars. He's just spent almost $1 billion building that museum in LA called the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. He sold Lucasfilm for $4 billion in 2012, and it's clear he's not looked back since. You give me $4 billion, I'll become a Jedi and have no attachments to anything after you give me $4 billion. George has said that he's officially moved on from Star Wars. He told the Wall Street Journal that he's let go of his instinct to manage that galaxy that he created, which is wild when you think about it, because this is the guy that built the Force, created the Jedi, the Sith, the Jedi Order. He's created all of it. He's given us all this world to basically live in and just really enjoy. But he said that he's got a life and he's done with it. And I kind of respect that. So yeah, he's building that museum that's going to open in 2026, and apparently he doesn't even want it to be related really to Star Wars at all. He said he's not calling it the Star Wars Museum. He said only one of the 33 galleries will actually have Star Wars stuff in it. One gallery. And he did it grudgingly. I'm like, man, if you give me $4 billion, I'm going to go make that museum. It's going to be Star Wars related everywhere you walk. You're not going to go anywhere without knowing that I created Star Wars. I would be so happy about making this. But that's the funny part of this whole thing with George Lucas and Star Wars, that he's basically annoyed at the idea of Star Wars following him around. And honestly, I can't relate. Obviously, I don't have $4 billion and I'm not that creative to build Star Wars in that Star Wars universe. So I guess it makes sense. Not really, but I'm just gonna say it makes sense. He's probably tired of people asking him about it all the time. I mean, I guess so. But I just can't relate. All I want to do is talk about Star Wars. But this article has actually caused me to reflect a lot about what Disney has done to the franchise. Lucas said Disney took it over and gave it their vision, and that's honestly the most accurate summary of the last decade of Star Wars that I have seen. They gave it their vision for the better or worse, and honestly, I reached a point where I'm just accepting that. I've actually grown to appreciate some of the stuff that Disney has done with Star Wars. Not all of it, obviously. There's plenty that still frustrates me, but I think that time has softened my anger when it comes to Star Wars. I even kind of want to go back and rewatch the sequels, as insane as that sounds. I actually do. I think I told someone that the other day. I just had the itch to watch Rise of Skywalker, which is crazy that that's the one I want to go rewatch. Now, don't get me wrong, what they did with Luke Skywalker still annoys me. That's never gonna sit right with me. But at this point, they did what they did. They made their choices, and we gotta move on from that, I guess. The only way to move the franchise forward is letting that stuff go, accepting it, and just focus on new stories and build off what you just did. They have to build new stuff. Because let's be real, Star Wars is a multi-billion-dollar machine. Disney's not gonna stop making content because some of us don't like The Last Jedi. They need to keep it going. They're going to keep it going. And honestly, I think if we sit back and reflect on what they've given us over the years, we can sit back and look at Disney Plus and be like, all right, some of this is actually not that bad. Take, for example, Andor. That show was so phenomenal. I could not stop watching Andor. All I wanted to talk about was Andor at the time. That was actually some of my first videos on this channel. This channel is very young. It's one of the best things Disney has done with the franchise, and it didn't rely on any cameos, no nostalgia. It was just a very serious and grounded story about the rebellion, and it worked. It worked. Disney needs to keep doing that, man. Obviously, we need some Force in there also. Then there's The Mandalorian. Season 1 and 2 was pretty good. It was great. That was the first thing in years that Star Wars had made, and it was just exciting that we got something that was really good. Season 3, alright, I'll give you that. Overall, it wasn't very good. But ultimately, this is the show that reignited the fan base. This is a really big win for Disney. Ahsoka Season 1, it was fine, not amazing, but it was not terrible. It had its moments, and seeing Hayden come back, that was awesome. And now we've got Ahsoka Season 2 coming, and can't wait for this. I'm taking off work. I'm not going to work when Ahsoka Season 2 comes out. I'm so excited for Ahsoka Season 2 because, I mean, Dave Filoni is steering the ship, and I trust Filoni. I mean, that is the guy from George Lucas himself. He understands Star Wars better than anyone at Lucasfilm, if I had to put money on it. The whole Filoni-verse, if that's what we're going to call it, that's the future. That's where Star Wars actually feels alive. Now, if we're being fair, we can talk about the Acolyte for a second. That one, swing and miss. Big swing and miss. It had potential. The concept was looking really cool. The Acolyte was set before the prequels, exploring the Jedi at their height, but the execution, we know, that was all over the place. Had some real questionable creative choices. Leslie Headland, the creator of the Acolyte, she was not the right person for that project. You could tell it was made by someone who doesn't get Star Wars and had an agenda to push. So, I mean, I guess she was trying to be clever, but I don't know. The Acolyte, big swing and miss. Why do we have a lightsaber that's turning from blue to red? I mean, that's a cool concept. If it was like canon, yeah, it doesn't work, but it looked cool. I'm gonna give it that. It did look cool. But the Acolyte, I don't think it was bad as everyone made it out to be. I think we were getting rage baited a little, but it was still disappointing, especially when you hear that Disney spent $230 million on the Acolyte. $230 million for what? That's insane. And then you look at how much they spent on other stuff. $90 million on the Kenobi show. Are we serious? Are we serious? $800 million on the Rise of Skywalker. Where's the money going? Who's managing the budget at Lucasfilm? Who's doing it? But despite all that, I will say this. I think the Disney Star Wars era will age a lot better than people think. Give it 10 to 15 years, and I think we might look back at some of these shows and be like, you know what, that wasn't so bad. I think we were getting rage baited and we were kind of just hating. Maybe similar to the prequels, while I admit the sequels, I don't think we're ever going to look back on those and be like, man, those were amazing. Yeah, we're never going to look at the prequel, or we're never going to look at the sequels and say, man, those were good, like we do the prequels. The prequels, objectively, they're not great movies, but I'm delusional. I think those are amazing movies with my bias. New things coming out. We got Maul Shadow Lord, new animated series focusing on Darth Maul and rebooting that criminal empire. This one looks so phenomenal. It's gonna look great. Sam Witwer is coming back as Darth Maul, which is always a great sign. This is the kind of project that I'm hyped for. Deep lore. It's gonna be character driven. It's gonna have a real dark tone to it, and I can't wait for that. That's the stuff I want to see more of. Then we got Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out in 2026. We're finally getting Star Wars coming back to the big screen. Cannot wait for Star Wars to be back on the big screen. Starfighter in 2027 with Ryan Gosling. With Mandalorian, I'm not sure how that's gonna go. I'm not very hyped for it. I'm just hyped to go back to a theater and watch a Star Wars film. Starfighter, on the other hand, takes place after the Rise of Skywalker, which could actually be very interesting. I'm not super hyped for the Mandalorian and Grogu adventure movie, but Starfighter could be the move. And another thing I will have to admit, after I'm just thinking back after watching or reading this article, you don't watch articles, what am I saying? After reading that article, I think Rey is starting to grow on me. Whoa. She's like, I'm just saying, she's not my favorite character by no means, but I don't hate Rey that much, as a lot of people actually hate Rey. A lot of Star Wars YouTube hates Rey. I think Daisley really did the best she could with the character of Rey. Bringing back Palpatine in the Rise of Skywalker, still dumb. Not a good move. I mean, it was in the expanded universe, and people in the comments will love to hate on me and say that it's in the expanded universe. I don't care. That's not the move you make. That's not the move you make. That was a bad move. Let's get back to George Lucas. George Lucas, he is clearly not thrilled about how the sequels turned out. He's been very transparent, or not very transparent, but he's talked about it. He said that the new Disney bosses got a lot wrong with the sequels, especially how they handled the Force. He literally said nobody understood the Force at the time, and he's right. And they probably still don't understand the Force. He's made it clear that they have taken the Force and what Star Wars was from the original trilogy, and they've just moved away from it. But he's been clear, you give it up, that's it, and that's the truth. He sold it, he walked away, and that's what happens when you sell that creation that he had. I mean, he lost control, and can't really complain with $4 billion sitting in your bank account. $4 billion, man. Come on, give me $4 billion. But now let's talk about Kathleen Kennedy, man of the hour, woman of the hour, because she also came up in this article. Apparently, she is not retiring, even after everyone thought she was. I mean, it's been off and on. Is she retiring? Is she not? We don't know. She's been at Lucasfilm for over a decade, and people have been saying for years that she's on her way out. But she's made it clear that she will die making movies. Let's just hope she doesn't die making Star Wars movies, because we might be cooked. Anyway, she has said that she is not being pushed aside or replaced, and I don't buy that 1 second. There's definitely some kind of transitioning happening behind the scenes from people that are above her. No way that there's not. I mean, there's no way they're making money, or that much money. It's being reported that her and Bob Iger are working on a succession plan, and that Dave Filoni is in a strong position to take over the company, or whatever her position at Lucasfilm. And honestly, that's the next chess move. That's the next chess move for Star Wars. Get it back where it's supposed to be. But for now, Kathleen Kennedy will still be producing The Mandalorian, or she's going to be involved in The Mandalorian and Grogu movie and Starfighter, and man, does that make me nervous. I just kind of want her to move on. It's time for a new generation of leadership at Lucasfilm. We need somebody in there that just loves the lore, just maybe Dave Filoni verse. Let's just call it Dave Filoni film. I don't know. But anyways, I'm ranting. I think George Lucas understands that when you have something like this, there's the corporate side to it. And that's probably why he's so detached from it at this point anyway. He knows that once something becomes that big, it's not his anymore. Still it kind of bugs me how George Lucas will, like, he avoids Star Wars now. I mean, I get it. He's moved on. He's got his museum. He has a life. He has a wife. He has kids. And he's focusing on other things, but part of me wishes he would have just fully embraced Star Wars. I just wish he would, man. Like, just love what you created. I mean, I'm sure he does love it. And I'm sure he's been asked a gazillion times about it. But make that Star Wars museum, please. You'd have me flying from North Carolina to Los Angeles. I would buy a ticket right now. But George doesn't want to be defined by Star Wars anymore, and maybe that's the real Jedi move, just letting it go completely. And I mean, I guess Star Wars ultimately was a chapter in his book, but that's not his whole book. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still here arguing about the sequels on Reddit. But so yeah, George Lucas said he has moved on from Star Wars, and honestly, I respect that. He's created something that is going to outlive him, something that's going to keep evolving long after he's gone. And we might not always love the direction that Disney has taken Star Wars, but at least Star Wars is still alive. I think I just made a video a couple weeks ago saying Star Wars is dead, kind of clickbaiting, but I did kind of believe that in the time. I was in my head about the state of Star Wars, but over the last couple weeks, I've had a realization. But if George Lucas wants to spend the 80s building a museum and never think about Star Wars again, I think we gotta let him do it. He's earned that place. He has $4 billion in the bank account. We're not getting over that. $4 billion. But for the rest of us, we're gonna keep debating about Star Wars. We're gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna keep complaining about it. We're gonna keep theorizing, and we're just gonna love this universe. That's what being a big Star Wars fan, or just a Star Wars fan in general, is all about. If you like Star Wars content, you like Star Wars news, you like Star Wars lore, I would love to make lore videos, but none of you guys watch it. Why do you guys not watch Star Wars lore? I don't get it. Anyways, if you like anything about Star Wars, I'm gonna make videos about it, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, like the video, please. That'll help me out. Do it.